Who really deserves the Ballon d'Or this year, Rodri or Vinnie Jr.? What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today, I really wasn't planning on making a video today, but now that the Copa America is over, now that the Euros are over, the last thing there is pretty much to debate or discuss is the Ballon d'Or. Before we get into that though, drop a like in the video, hit that subscribe button. If you guys enjoy football content, make sure you subscribe, guys. I would really appreciate it. But let's get into the topic, man. Rodri is the name. So it's Vinnie Jr. We knew that already. Jude Bellingham, we kind of knew that already. And now it's Rodri. Jude Bellingham, I'm just gonna X him out of this video because he's not gonna win it, guys. He's not gonna win it as much as people think he might have deserved it, because he had a really good season starting off. But you know what, you guys, everyone knows what happened with Jude in England and all of that. So really the top two and the only names for the Ballon d'Or this year is Vinnie Jr. and Rodri. That's it. Should we start with Rodri? Should we start with Vinnie Jr.? Let's start off by talking about their season and why they're even in the mentions for the Ballon d'Or. So let's start there. All right, just to get into the correct mood, we have the Spain colors. It could have been Man City colors, to be honest, but we're going to keep it Spain since right now that's literally the reason why Rodri is being mentioned this season. But let's begin, right? So Rodri is a center mid from Man City. We all know him. I don't need to introduce him anymore. So let me just start by going through Rodri's season before I start saying my opinions and why he's, you know, let's just start with his stats, right? So Rodri this season has played 34 games in the Premier League, 8 goals and 9 assists. Honestly, not bad for a center mid. That's not bad at all. And the thing that kind of stands Rodri out from a lot of players is the fact that Rodri has gotten a lot of games without losing a game. And of course, some of you guys will say, yeah, Rodri is the best center mid. Of course, he's gone this many games without losing. And then there's some of you that might say, well, yeah, because he's playing in Man City, arguably one of the best teams in the world or this decade. And honestly, both of you guys would probably be right. It's a little bit of both. It really is. In the Champions League, Rodri has played 8 games this season, 1 goal, 2 assists. As you guys know, Rodrigo, aka Rodri, his real name is Rodrigo, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Funny enough, Rodrigo got knocked out by Real Madrid in the Champions League, and that's where his Champions League little story ended there. But still not a bad season. I mean, you know, 1 goal, 2 assists. Nah, I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna say bad. That's a mid-season. We're gonna be real in this video. That is a mid-season for Rodri. If you guys want to hype him up saying, well, he's scoring a lot of goals, he should be doing that in the Champions League as well. I'm just saying. Now, we all know Rodri won the Premier League, and you know, with the best team in the Premier League, of course, Man City, right? Now, as we all know, Rodri won the Premier League. He won the Euro. Of course, you know, his name is up there because of the kind of player he is. He's just a freaking rock in the midfield. We're not gonna deny that at all. He's a great player and all of that. One thing that kind of confuses me a little bit, right? And maybe some of you guys as well. Last year, let's go back to last year's Rodri, right? So the Rodri that scored in the Champions League final to win the final for Man City, the Rodri that literally was unstoppable, the Rodri that was scoring goals after goals after goals, the Rodri that won the treble last year. And I find it funny that Rodri's name was not really mentioned at all last year for the Ballon d'Or. Ballon was there, Messi was there, but where was Rodri's hype last season? Because I honestly think Rodri deserved it a lot more last season than he does this season, to be honest. But I've seen a few people out there kind of comment Rodri because he's Spain's captain, so obviously he's going to be the highlight, right, of the Spain team. A lot of people say, yeah, Spain did amazing in this Euro because of Rodri, but in reality, it really is because of a lot of other players. From what I saw, yeah, he did his thing in the midfield. He only scored 1 goal this Euro, and I mean, again, Rodri is not the goal scoring kind, so we're not going to knock that against him, right? The performances from Dani Olmo, picking it up after Pedri gets injured, insane player Dani Olmo. But not only that, you know, we got Nico Williams, who arguably was probably one of the best Spain players and standout players this Euro. You know, of course, we have Lamine Yamal. I'm a Real Madrid fan, I'm a Madridista, so I'm not going to hate on Yamal. I know that he's a great talent. I mean, I think he's definitely up there for one of the best players in Spain in the tournament, right? Dani Carvajal, from what I'm seeing, a lot of you guys out there say Rodri deserves it because of this, Rodri deserves it because he's gotten these Premier League titles, player of the month, player of the season, player of the tournament, whatever, you know. If we're going based off of this and performances, of course, we cannot deny performances, right? Then why is Dani Carvajal not in the big run-up, right? I mean, he's in the top 5 because I think according to Goal, the rankings is Rodri, Vinny, Jude, and Carvajal. I might be missing one, I forget, but why is Carvajal not on top of Rodri this season? Because Carvajal's performances in Spain for the Euro were absolutely amazing. I mean, he stopped Musiala single-handedly. Almost every game that Carvajal played in the Euros, he played crazy good. And then if we talk about Carvajal's season with Real Madrid, arguably one of his best seasons by far. I mean, this guy won the Spanish Cup, this guy won La Liga title, this guy won the Champions League, scored the Champions League goal, pretty much winner, I would say. Let's see, I mean, why is Carvajal not being talked about? I think Carvajal should be ahead of Rodri if it's up to me. If we're picking a Spaniard out of the Euros, I think it has to be Carvajal because of his performance with Real Madrid, his titles that he's won this season, and the Euro performances as well. Now we're gonna talk about Vinnie Jr., right? Give me 1 second, let me change these lights real quick. All right, we got the blue, we got the green, yellow should be there, but you know, I only have control over so many colors, right? Vinnie Jr., guys, I mean, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I can talk about Vinnie's achievements all season. He scored, I think, 26 goals, a bunch of assists, 7 goals in the knockouts, very important knockouts, by the way. I mean, he literally was one of the most crucial players in the knockout stages of the Champions League to win the Champions League for Real Madrid, and he scores in the final as well, which is not the easiest thing to do considering not a lot of players have done it as well, scoring in the final, and he did it back to back, right? Let's just say that right there off the bat. He won the La Liga title, he won the Champions League, he won the Super Cup, he's won countless man of the matches, he won the Champions League player of the season, by the way. I mean, if we're not gonna count player of the season for the Champions League, then I guess we'll just leave it out, right? I honestly don't know how the voting is gonna sway, whether it's gonna go towards Vinny, towards Rodrigo. It's gonna be tough, guys. It's gonna be tough, but honestly, I think with everything Vinny has had to overcome, he was injured for 2 months. I mean, this obviously doesn't count, but you got to think about it as well, right? With all the allegations, the racism, things like that. I mean, he has had to stay focused throughout the season, especially playing in Spain. He has the titles, he has the stats to back this up. Like I said, I'm not gonna paint a whole picture of why Vinny should win it, why Vinny this, why Vinny that. I just merely wanted to compare both of their seasons, who has had the best one. I feel like, you know, both of them, like I said, have decent shouts. For a lot of people, really is preference. Who do you prefer? If you're not a Madrid fan, I already know you're not going to pick Vinny. A lot of people do not like Vinny, and this plays a lot into a lot of things. But at the end of the day, guys, I think in my opinion, I think Vinnie Jr. deserves it just because he's been that player. He's been that player in the big moments. Of course, Brazil, yes, we're not going to count that. I mean, Brazil was awful. I mean, every Brazilian player was shockingly bad. I'm gonna put 2 comments down below, Vinny or Rodri. You guys drop a like on it, like that comment, whoever you think should win it, and I guess we'll see in a few days who the people vote, at least in this comment section, because obviously the Ballon d'Or is gonna be different, but it's gonna be a close battle. Vinny versus Rodri, and again, if you guys still think Jude is gonna win and Jude is not gonna win it, Carvajal honestly has a decent shout. I think Carvajal should be up there, definitely. I think at the end of the day, it's gonna be Vinny versus Rodrigo, and may the best player win. But in my opinion, I think it should be Vinnie Jr. But we'll see what happens, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what are your opinions. Who do you guys think should win? Of course, I'm making a bunch of these videos, controversial videos. So if you guys enjoy just banter and all this, man, drop a like, drop a sub, and without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one because my voice is done. Hasta la vista.